spring in New York. Hasn't felt like it. It's kind of there today. Makes magic happen, the spring. I love the spring. I kind of like the fall better, but colors, popping out, new life, these are the things that make spring special. And morning coffee. Can you tell I've had 8 cups? I'm sure you can. When have I ever danced for you before? Today, my friend. I can feel it. Let's see. It's a 5-minute Friday. And I don't care if there's landscapers outside. I don't care if the sun goes behind the clouds. Nothing's bugging me today. We are gonna rock some knowledge. So, did you hear it? Not what I said, you're not being tested on my caffeine-infused rambling and dancing. But did you hear how I said it? Because if you're gonna write, the first thing you need to do is learn how to listen. This is one of my favorite tools of writing. I love the spoken word. I love its rhythm. I love its ebbs and flows. I love its power as a tool. When I was younger, I was really attracted to like the comedians who were sharp-tongued and, well, smartasses in general, I suppose. And then as I got older, the films that really stuck with me always had really engaging and interesting dialogue. Maybe I just talk too damn much. But whatever the reason, today we're focusing on the words that your characters are going to say in your work. Hey everybody, Joe Kelly. Thank you for clicking on this video. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. And if you are a repeat offender, welcome back. It's great to have you here. As a professional writer, the second most asked question that I get after where do you get your ideas is how do I write better dialogue? And I think this stresses out a lot of new writers, mostly because it is sort of your final interface with the audience. I'm here to tell you, you can get better at it, and it doesn't have to be scary. I wrote lots of crappy dialogue in my time. It took me a while before I developed my ear and developed my style for writing. And today, on a 5-minute Friday, we're going to discuss 5 tips to help you write better dialogue. Let's put 5 on the clock and see if I can stick to it this time. So tip number 1 is you must listen to people in the real world. Now, I know that we want our dialogue to be heightened and dramatic and exciting and serve our story or the world or the types of characters you're creating. However, it has to feel grounded. Otherwise, you're just going to get lost in a word salad. Keep a notebook or a notes app open on the phone and just write what you hear. I used to pick up a ton of amazing dialogue on the streets of Manhattan or riding the Long Island Railroad. Mix it up. Spend a little time lingering at the coffee shop or the lunchroom and just eavesdrop. Listen for rhythm and the way your friends and family speak. Jot down the bits that strike you and then cut, cut, cut. While we want our dialogue to reflect the things that we hear in real life, we are not making a documentary. We do not want a direct transcript of how people speak. As our brains process ideas, we use filler words. We say, like, I think, maybe. We do not want that stuff on the page unless it serves your character. If they're trying to be sneaky or they're nervous or there's some bit of comedy that comes out of it, that's fine. But just because people do it in real life does not mean you want to put it in your work. It turns out to be really boring. It's the same with names. Nobody calls people by their name in real life as often as they do in scripts. Again, maybe there's a certain social situation where you need this, a subordinate speaking to their boss. This might be a place where names would be very important. But in general, cut them out. On the nose and see and say dialogue. These are 2 of the most egregious errors I see in scripts, especially from new writers. telling us exactly what a character is thinking, or worse, having dialogue describe exactly what we are seeing. This is a huge no-no. It's a waste of space, a waste of time, and it is boring as hell. If I was a character in a movie, it would suck for me to say, oh look, there's a little cartoon telling you to subscribe and like this video. I would hopefully be a little bit more subtle. And yes, when you look at the kid shows that I've worked on over the years, there is a lot of this dialogue. This is for two primary reasons. One, executives don't trust kids. This is a big mistake. Kids are very damn smart. Two, scene number one. If a dinosaur is bearing down on a character and she starts talking about the weather instead of yelling, oh my God, it's a fucking T-Rex, that tells us a lot about her. What? I don't know. Did she snap at the sight of a T-Rex? Is she so chill that she can talk about the weather when a T-Rex is bearing down on her? I don't know, but it's something, and it is infinitely better than having her say exactly what we are seeing. So tip number 4, specificity is your friend. Here's a little game you can play. Open up your script to any page and pick any line of dialogue. Erase the character name above that line of dialogue and put in Batman or Queen Elizabeth or Elmo. If that line still works, coming from any other character, it may not be a great line. The voice of your character should be present in any line you write. Now, obviously there are functional lines, but even those can be tweaked. So for example, I'll have a cheeseburger. It's pretty straightforward. But you could also say, cheese booger, extra grease. Oh, no turkey burger? I guess a cheeseburger then. I won't eat it, but somebody will. Meat is murder. Give me 2. Tip number 5, good dialogue is layered dialogue. When we watch a scene written by the Coen brothers, or Phoebe Waller-Bridge, or Jordan Peele, there is something relatable and understandable and human about the dialogue that we're watching. But there's also something magical, something special and intangible. That comes from the way that they layer their dialogue, where they use subtext so that the words that are actually being spoken have a much deeper, richer meaning. Layers are the secret sauce to better dialogue. You'll hear this example a lot. The sentence, I love you. You've heard this a million times. Hopefully you've said it in your life, and hopefully somebody has said it to you. That could have been the saddest thing I could have possibly said in this video. I really upset myself with the thought that somebody's never heard I love you before. I love you can be a lie. It can be a tool to trick somebody into getting what a character wants. It can be said by one character while they are slowly poisoning another character to death and actually still be true. If you've done your job correctly, then the motivations, the scenario, and the relationships between characters are going to put layers into those lines and make them much more impactful. So there's obviously a ton more that I could cover about dialogue, and I promise we will do more on this channel. I can go much more into depth on those 5 tips, but I'm hoping that this 5-Minute Friday video will kick you off into the weekend, making your dialogue a little tighter, a little punchier, and maybe to help you get over some of the problems and hurdles that I faced when I was a new writer. So meanwhile, let me know if there's anything else you want to talk about on these 5-Minute Friday quickie videos. And this one I think was actually quick, so yay us. Let me know in the comments section below, or you can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram at @ThatJoeKelly. I'd love to hear from you. So I think I've said enough about dialogue, and I'm going to stop talking now. I love you.